Good morning or good afternoon, Dharma Master Zhen Yan, Master of the Jingzi Abode, and to all our Tzu Chi volunteers online. Before we start our event today, let us first pay respect to Buddha or Master. If you're from another faith or religion and if you do not feel comfortable in doing so, please kindly pay your respect in your own ways. Let us all please stand and put our palms together and pay respect to Buddha, Dharma Master Zhen Yan. First bow, second bow, third bow. Thank you, everyone. Please kindly everyone have a seat. Due to COVID-19, early from last year, many of our plans or volunteering work from around the world have been highly affected, but we are sincerely grateful that during this time of difficulty, through technology, we are able to connect like today. We are also very grateful to many of you who have given up your Saturday to join us online. Like what our Dharma Master Zhen Yan has taught us, we should not allow time to just pass by. We should cherish every minute and second that we have, and we should use it wisely. Today, we have volunteers from many countries, and we are able to gather here because of Tzu Chi. Tzu Chi connected all of us, no matter if we're separated by distance or by time difference. Today, I would like to ask everyone online, how much do we know about Tzu Chi and its origin? Hopefully, through our online sharing and events throughout the year, we are able to know more about Tzu Chi and its underlying spirit. In 1966, Dharma Master Zhen Yan established Buddhist Tzu Chi Foundation in Hualien, in a very rural community in Taiwan back at the time. Master was moved by the misery and pain she saw around her and made a powerful aspiration to relieve suffering and help the poor. From the first 30 housewives, the foundation has now grown to a global NGO. Let us now welcome Brother Alfredo from the Philippines to share with us the humble beginning of Tzu Chi. Thank you, Brother Alfredo.
敬爱的上人、金色师父, our brothers and sisters in Tzu Chi, good afternoon. Ramon Magsaysay Award is the equivalent of Nobel Peace Prize in Asia. In 1991, Master Cheng Yen was given the Ramon Magsaysay Award for community leadership. She was given $30,000 US as her prize money. And what did she do with it? Master Cheng Yen sent half of it to help the China flood victims and the other half to the Mount Pinatubo Lahar victim in the Philippines. You see, Master Cheng Yen is very generous to others, but always very, very frugal to herself. In 1994, that's 3 years after she received the Ramon Magsaysay Award, the Philippine Chinese community got to know her and organized Tzu Chi Philippines. I joined in 1995, 1 year after. At the time, I was 41-year-old, and today I am already 67-year-old, and that is 26 years then. There's a Chinese word, coherent, a person who influenced or your life, or one who made a great difference on you. Master Cheng Yen is my coherent. Because of her guidance and teaching, she transformed me from a materialistic person to spirituality, an autocratic husband, and a very strict father. And Master Cheng Yen really changed me to become a caring father. Master Cheng Yen is not only my coherent, she is the coherent of my family. Our humble beginning. from a wooden hut, 5 disciples and 30 housewives, Tzu Chi has spread to more than 60 countries now, and had given assistance and aid to more than 100 countries worldwide. Master Ching Yen was born in March 24, 1937. She's a very filial daughter, but Master Ching Yen was adopted to a relative, and I would like to share with you a very touching story, which really had a very strong impact on me. At age 15, Master Ching Yen's adopted mother developed ulcer, and the doctor said she had to be operated. And at that time, in 1950 plus, the medical technology was not that good yet. And she was told, and the doctor said the chances is 50-50. And you know, Master Ching Yen really prayed very hard and sincerely to Bodhisattva Kuan Yin. And you know, at her tender age of 15, she made 2 great vows. First vow is to become vegetarian, so that the merit of no killing, of saving lives, could be transferred to save her mother. And she made another vow, that is, the second vow she made is she would like to transfer 12 years of her life, to shorten her life for 12 years and transfer that to her mother. You know, she I believe, touched heaven, because she, in 3 successive nights, she dreamed of the same dream. Bodhisattva Kuan Yin coming down, giving her a packet of medicine. She brewed it and served it to her mother. 3 successive nights of the same dream. And you know, I don't know if it is a miracle, but to me, I believe in it. The mother got well without surgery. And in the end, she lived up to age 90 plus. Really, I believe Master Ching Yen's sincerity, filiality, and great vows touch the heart of Bodhisattva Kuan Yin. Why am I so touched, impacted by this story? Because it also happened to me. When I was little, I vowed that one day when I grew up, I will repay my parents for giving me life and also nurturing me. But at my age 32, an accident fire in our house, my mother went in to save my father and they never came out. I was very, very impacted with what happened, because that was my life's goal, to repay them. But what happened is I have lost my life's direction. And when I met Master Ching Yen, I don't know why I keep on crying, because I saw her as a second mother, my spiritual mother. And you know, Master Ching is teaching, there are 2 things in life that cannot wait: to be filial to our parents, and number 2, to do good deeds. I could not be filial to my biological parents anymore because they are gone. But the second one, because my parents had always been telling me that if once I became financially able, financially stable, I must learn to give back to society. And so, in following Master Ching Yen and doing Tzu Chi work, we are helping the less privileged in our society. And I'm sure my parents, if they are looking at me now, they will be smiling and be nodding with affirmity, that I am also being filial to them. The next one is Master Ching Yen was ordained as a nun in 1963. Let me share also this remarkable story of her ordination. She went to a Buddhist ceremony to be ordained as a nun, but was rejected because she had no teacher to establish her lineage. So she left the ceremonial hall and went into a temple to buy some sutra to deepen her Buddhist understanding. After buying the books, the sutra, she was about to leave when a heavy downpour prevented her. There she met her teacher, Master Ingson, who seldom accepts disciples. Master Ingson is an advocate of engaging Buddhism into society. He must have sensed that Master Ching Yen is a very special person. He accepted her for all beings. Then he sent her to the ordination hall to be ordained. Master Ching Yen established Tzu Chi Foundation in 1966. It all started from a pool of blood. One day, Master Ching Yen went to a hospital to visit a friend. And when she entered the lobby, she saw a pool of blood. So she asked around what happened. And people told her that an Aborigine woman, 8 months pregnant, bleeding, was carried by her relatives from the mountain, 8-hour trip to the hospital. And when they arrived there, the doctor said she had to be operated. But they have to first pay a deposit of 8,000 Taiwan dollar. The Aborigine has no money, so they carried her back. They carried her home. What happened to her, we don't know. But Master Ching Yen was very, very sad. 2 lives, the mother and the baby, for 8,000 Taiwan dollars. And Master Ching Yen made a vow that one day she will put up her own hospital, save life first, money later, or not important. So that pool of blood, you know, people, ordinary people like me, I am also touched by many things, and I also promise that I will do something. But when I go to sleep the next morning, I forget all about it. But Master Ching Yen is very different. But today, if you will look at, she made that vow, and today we had already many, many hospitals. She had already established 7 hospitals in Taiwan. Could you please show this hospital? These are not small hospitals. It's 800 bed, 1,200 bed hospitals all over Taiwan. And not only does it is the hospitals in Taiwan, it's also went to the US, it's also in Indonesia, and also in the Philippines. We have established an eye center wherein we had been doing cataract surgeries, glaucoma, retina detachment, all these things for the past 12 years, and we never charged the patient a single cent. So where does the funds come from? When she announced her intention to build a hospital, a modern hospital in Hualien, everybody discouraged her. It is a mission impossible. She needed 800 million Taiwan dollar. But Master Ching Yen has a valuable ally, her principal. Believe that what I'm doing is not for myself. Believe that everyone has a golden heart. Meaning, what she's doing, she has no personal interest, but is to help people to save lives. And that she knows that if she could touch the Buddha nature of everyone, people will support her. And even a Japanese businessman offered to donate $200 million US dollars to her. And that will translate to about NT 8,000 million. But she didn't accept it. She went around Taiwan rallying people to donate 10 Taiwan dollar, 50, 100. Many rallied to her cause by donating their hard-earned savings for their old age, donating their coffin money. You know, many Chinese are afraid that when they die, they will have no coffin. So they save this money to buy coffin so that they have a coffin to lie on when they die. But they are touched by Master Ching Yen. Even this money, they donated it to her. So why did Master Ching Yen went through all these hassles? She wanted that every brick and mortar of the hospital came from all walks of life, that the merit and blessings are shared by all. 30 housewives. Master Ching Yen, after making that vow, she made bamboo coin bank. She made 30 coin banks. Why 30 coin banks? Because at that time she had only 30 followers and they are all housewives. You know, in the Philippines, whenever we share this during relief operations, when we ask the people there, housewives, will you please raise your hand? You know what, the housewives are always ashamed or afraid to raise their hands. And we told them, you know, in Tzu Chi, we love housewives. Because without the housewives, there will be no Tzu Chi Foundation today. So they all raised their hands very high. You know, in all our activities, we always do sharing, and then after that, we give out coin cans. I'd like to share with you one story which really touched me. This is, we found a very poor village, and this village is just beside the garbage dump site, and their livelihood is to get to recycle and then sell them and for them to buy rice. And the place is even ironically called Dreamland Village. So we also give, most important is we help them every month. We send some material goods, and also most important is we educate their children, because that is their way of getting them out of poverty. And after a few months, we asked the villagers to bring out the coin cans that we give them. And whenever we try to propagate the coin cans, we always tell them, can you put in 1 peso? You know what is 1 peso? $1 is equivalent to 50 pesos. So 1 peso is how much? 1/50, that is only 2 cents. And they said, yes, we can do that. We have some other volunteers who told me, why did you ask only 1 peso? Why not ask 5 pesos or 10 pesos? I told them, no, this is a secret. Just tell them to put 1 peso a day. So when all the villagers with their coin cans and then they all line up, I asked our staff to bring out a jar, a clay jar. And they brought 2. And I was not even happy. I even reprimanded this. I told them, why bring 2? 1 will not even be filled up, you know. But And, actually what really happened was 2 jars were all filled up, overflowing with the coins from the villagers. I was so ashamed. This taught me a lesson that never look down at the poor people. Love and gratitude is the powerful force. So I'd like to share with you this secret. 1 peso. You just tell them 1 peso, but actually they will put 5, they will put 10, they will put 20, they will even put 50 pesos. That is a secret, please. Don't share it with others. Just joking. And actually, what is the power? Where is the power of Chuchi? The power of Chuchi is giving with a pure heart, with sincerity, without expecting anything in return. At the same time, to be grateful. That is the power of Chuchi Foundation. So, Master Ching Yen is a revolutionary. Her I was very, very touched with knowing that the award, when we go to the award, there is no donation box. There is no donation box. When we first went there, one of our sister brought up an ang pao and kneeled down and gave it to Master Ching Yen. Master Ching Yen did not accept it. Master Ching Yen said, give it to the foundation to directly help the people. Because Master Ching Yen's temple, abode, is a no work, no food. They are self-reliant. Can you please, can you please, of the other pictures? They plant their own food. They make livelihood programs to sustain themselves. That is what touches people. So that's why I said Master Ching Yen is a revolutionary. Also, Master Ching Yen started with mission of charity. She personally do home visit. Can you put up? Okay, these are what they're doing to sustain themselves, not from our donations. When in fact, if we go to the abode, they are the one inviting us. That's not our donations. It is their money, hard-earned money for us. So, next picture, please. Master Ching Yen, in the old days, is the one who do personally visit, making home visit. And, I would like to share with you something also. When I was very, very new, I was put in charge of medical mission. And when we had arranged for a big medical mission, 3 days, normally we could treat 6,000 patients. We were able to get all the doctors, volunteer doctors and nurses. We were able to coordinate with the government. We were able to coordinate with the local businessman and also for the schools to hold a 3 days big medical mission. And we fly to Taiwan to see Master Ching Yen. And we told Master Ching Yen, you know what, Master Ching Yen, we had already all of these things ready, the doctors, the place, everything. The medicines are all ready to do the medical mission. And we were waiting for Master Ching Yen to praise us. But we were surprised. Master Ching Yen said, yes, you have made all the preparation, but you should be thankful to the patients. You should say thank you to them. We were shocked. Our time, our efforts, they must be the one to say thank you to us, not us thanking them. And Master Ching Yen looking at us knows what we were thinking. And she explained, When you have prepared everything and no patients come, what can you do? Who should thank who? And when the patients come, they have to line up all the way to be able to see the doctor and to get their medicine or to be operated. Who should thank who? And when you're doing this, how do you feel? You say, very happy. Then she said, who should thank who? Really, she totally changed our way of thinking. Because before I joined Tzu Chi, I was with other organizations, and if the patients forget to thank us, we will even drag them back and say, you forgot something, you know. So Tzu Chi is a very different organization. Next picture, please. You see, in the olden days, Master Ching Yen and her disciples, they're all housewives. They go around Taiwan to personally visit the beneficiaries. And this is a very classical picture. You couldn't find Master Ching Yen there, but she was there. Why? Because she's the one who took the picture. So Master Ching Yen's, could you have the next picture, please? Master Ching Yen's told us that two things that we are not allowed to do in all our activities: no politics and no religious conversion. We can only do one thing, that is spread the seeds of love. And the Tzu Chi mission is 4 missions and 8 footprints. And what are the 4 missions? This is the charity, medicine, education, and humanistic culture. Philippines is quite unique. Do I still have time? Or I have over?
You still have time, Uncle Alfredo.
Okay. You know, in Philippines, we are quite unique because most Tzu Chi branches all over the world always starts with charity. And Philippines is unique because we started with medicine, because this is the need of our country. Most people, the poor people, are sick. When they are sick, they have no money to go see a doctor or to buy medicine. So I remember when we started, we adopted the hospital, and we go there twice a week, and then we go from room to room, from ward to ward, and then checking at the patients. If they have the prescription forms from the doctors, but they don't have the money to buy the medicine, or they are to be operated, and they don't, the hospitals don't have all the supplies, and the patients is asked to buy the supplies, and the patients don't have the means to do that, we are the one who get them, and we buy it and give it to them. One story that I cannot forget is that there was a housewife who was selling banana Q. Banana Q is a boiling oil, and they will fry the banana with sugar. But we don't know what happened. The whole oil spilled on her shoulder, on her chest, and she was in the hospitals, and the doctor prescribed a very expensive antibiotic, and she has to have antibiotic 3 bottles a day, and they couldn't afford it. So the doctor came to us to help them buy the medicine. And at that time, that was 30 years ago, or 20 plus years ago, 1 bottle was 1,000 pesos. That was a lot of money. But the doctor said they need 42 bottles. So we went 14 days times 3, that's 42 bottles. We went to buy 42 bottles of this imipinin antibiotic. And we brought it together with the doctors to the patient. And when we gave it to the patient was so happy. She took out a handkerchief and said, "Thank you, El Shaddai." And El Shaddai is a Catholic organization, and she was a member of that. And we saw the doctor, telling the patient, no, they are Buddhists. They are not Catholic. But we told the patient, no worry. You believe, you have your faith, that is good, because a person who has faith gets well easily. So these are things that I cannot forget. And also in our eye center, one day I was watching an old lady had her cataract operated, and when she came out from the operating room, when she came out of the operating room, I was there on the door waiting for her. And when she came out, I told her, "Lola," which is meaning to say, "Grandma." I said, "Lola, can you see me?" She said, "Yes." I said, "How long is my hair?" She said, "You have no hair." And you know what she did? The next thing she did, she hugged and kissed me. And there was a picture taken. That is a very memorable moment in my life, And I feel all the sacrifices, all the things that we did is worth it, when we see the happiness of our patients. Do I still have time?
Yes, you still have 10 minutes.
I still have 10 minutes?
10 to 15 minutes, yes.
Okay. I'd like to share another thing. Is that most people knows about Typhoon Haiyan. Typhoon Haiyan is the most powerful typhoon worldwide until even up to now. It really destroyed a whole city called Tacloban City in the middle part of the Philippines. So we went in to help it. So with Master Ching Yen's guidance, it was mission impossible. In 19 days, we were able to clean up the whole city and put it back to life. And at the time, Master Ching Yen kept telling us, you are not angels, you are Bodhisattva. Bodhisattva did not go there because they are told or sent by somebody else. Bodhisattva goes to help people to save lives on their own. So if anything happened to you, whatever, good or bad, do not complain, because we went there on our own. And I was able to really internalize this, what she was saying, until something happened to me. After the cleanup of Tacloban City, Master Ching Yen told us to build housing for the typhoon victims. So I was in charge of a housing project in Ormoc City. And it is a 50-hectare land donated by the mayor. And we built 1,500 plus shelters for the people. And in 2016, while we were still ongoing with the project, something happened to me. Mentally disturbed, and also I heard he was taking this shabu, these drugs. One day, I met up with him, but I was not I was not aware about him, he took a big stone and threw it on me, and it hit me here on my eyes. And after that, he really punched me that I fell down. And luckily, all the other people came to help me. At that time, I was really very, very angry. I told myself, we're doing all of these things for these people. Why does this have to happen to me? And I even entertained the idea of I'm not going back anymore to finish that project. But when I went back to Manila, when Master Ching Yen knows that these things happened to me, she asked me to go to Taiwan, to our own Hualien hospital. I was so amazed that when I arrived there, even the superintendent or the medical director of the hospitals and everybody there was there in the door waiting for me. Until today, I'm really very touched with this kind of gesture. And immediately I was wheeled into the X-ray and all those things, and the next morning I had my operation, and luckily very fast my broken bones healed, and luckily until today I have no problem in my eyes. I can see it clearly, everything's still okay. And I keep reflecting on what happened, and I realize, I don't know why Master, before that thing happened, Master Ching Yen keeps talking about it, that we are blue bodhisattva, not blue angels. And anything happened to us, we should not complain, because we went there on our own accord. Nobody invited us. And with that, my thinking changed. Nobody invited us to go there. So I went back to Ormoc City. Together with our brothers and sisters, we finished the project. Today, we have about 6,000 residents living there. And they are donating monthly pledges through their coin cans. Many had changed their bad habits. These are worth it. If we did not go back, we won't have what it is today. So with that, well, I think I have shared too much. I've talked too much. And thank you for listening. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you so much, Brother Alfredo, for your wonderful sharing. Master Ching Yen, through your stories, we were able to learn, Master Ching Yen made a vow 55 years ago. She wanted to relieve all the pains and sufferings in this world. Until today, she was still able to follow her vows, no matter what kind of challenges she encounters and faces. And then she is so devoted in the path of Tzu Chi, and then she follows her vows every single day, every minute, every second. And then through Brother Alfredo's sharing of the bamboo bank, we were able to learn that one small action, like 1 peso that we have, maybe if we donate it, it may not affect us, affect you or me, but if we gather all this peso from everyone, we can actually make a difference in someone's life and give them hope. So Tzu Chi started from a humble start, and then now to a global humanitarian charity organizations. And over the years, the foundation has been contributing to a better social
اسمعوا شوي. Good morning, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. We can hear you.
How are you? تعالي تزين. فيش صورة فيش صورة كيف تعال؟ وين هاي تعال شنو ده فيش وين؟
Good afternoon. At our break time right now, we'll return back at 4 o'clock.
What time?
4 o'clock Taiwan time.
Yeah, and the Jordan will be 12. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello, I can hear you.
Hi, my name is Eduardo for the Nicaragua. For the comeback?
You still have 13 minutes. You can return back in 13 minutes. So it'll be 4 o'clock Taiwan time. So you have 13 minutes.
Okay. Thank you so much.
1-3. Thank you.
Hello.
ضير.
Thank you. Hello.
Hello. Yes. Hello.
Hello. 13.
13. Yes.
Okay.
You may
Okay.
return
Okay,
back
thank
13 minutes. Thank
13 minutes.
you.
Okay, thank you.
13, 1-3.
1-3.
Yes, 1-3, 13.
Okay.
Thank
inshallah.
you.
Thank you very much.
,4号学长，您上线了吗？有。
上线了，请问这样听得清楚吗？
非常清楚，感恩学长。
简报我已经有先给你了哦，谢谢。
好。
等一下我这边会自己播，对吧
？OK， 对，学长您这里自己播。好，感恩学长。
感恩。
Sorrows and pain, bless us all with joy and hope, love and care for each one in this world. Let us pray for peace in our land. Keep our hearts from sorrows and pain. us pray for peace in our land. Keep our hearts from sorrows and pain. Bless us all with joy and hope. Love and care for each one. This world. Love and care for each one in this world. Let us pray for peace in our land. Keep our hearts from sorrows and pain. Bless us all with joy and hope. Love and care for each one in this world. Let us pray for peace in our land. Keep our hearts from sorrows and pain. Bless us all with joy and hope. Love and care for each one in this world.
Dear everyone, you still have 5 minutes of break. Please return back in 5 minutes. Thank you.
With joy and hope, love and care for each one in this world. Let us pray for peace in our land. Keep our hearts from sorrows and pain. Bless us all with joy and hope. Love and care for each one in this world. sorrows and pain. Bless us all with joy and hope, love and care for each one in this world. Let us pray for peace in our land. Keep our hearts from sorrows and pain. Bless us all with joy and hope, love and care for each one in this world. Let us pray for peace in our land. Keep our hearts from sorrows and pain. Bless us all with joy and hope, love and care for each one in this world. Love and care for each one in this world.
Welcome everyone back. Over the time, Tzu Chi mission from charity expanded to medicine, education, humanistic culture, disaster relief, and environmental protection, not only in Taiwan, but around the world. Yet, today we are living in an ever-changing world where everything around us will not stop changing, no matter if it's the improvement of technology or there are many much more to mention. But has Tzu Chi missions changed for the past 55 years? Or has Tzu Chi's initial mission and vision stayed the same? Let us today kindly invite our brother Joe to give us an overview of Tzu Chi's mission and share to us how in this ever-changing world, Tzu Chi's never-changing mission. Thank you, brother Joe.
Okay, thank you, Natalia, and welcome everybody. And yes, we have begun our session. And good day to everybody. I understand that everybody we're in different time zone, and therefore it's very difficult to say whether it's good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. But I think whether wherever we are and whatever the time zone that we are in, I think the most important thing is our heart is in the same place where our Master Cheng Yen wants us to be, which is love, loving all the time. Whether you are in the evening, in the afternoon, in the morning, the most important thing is our heart is always in the time of love, love and giving. And today we are going to share with you, where I'm going to share with you the 4 missions, and especially in this ever-changing world with this never-changing mission. And it is my honor to be able to present to you my thoughts and my feelings about our 4 missions. I think in this world, we are very customary to the disasters that's happening in the world. Right now, in Australia, there is flooding that is probably never seen before in the last 50 to 100 years. The rain that came down is so much more that is two to three times the average rain that in the past 50 years combined. And that is a lot. So when that comes out to be, when that came out, you can see that the entire flooding took place. Obviously, this is the complete opposite. Instead of being too much water, in the past 2 years, what we've actually seen is that the Australia wildfire was something that was even bigger. And this was a problem, as you can see, that a lot of this, the fire congregates toward the eastern part, which is the New South Wales state. And that is also where the flood was. So you can imagine that the disaster kept on changing. The problems that we're facing in the world are constantly changing. And these are posing are very, very serious problems for all of us. And in this year also, just a couple months ago, today we are the end of March, but just about a month ago, in February 16th, the US also was hit with this winter storm that was never seen before in Texas. And because this was a state that was not known for its cold weather, actually all the infrastructure, the people, the buildings, all the water, the transportation, the buildings, none of this was prepared for the winter storm. And that could tell you that the disasters are changing. It's getting bigger in scale. It's getting different in the way that it poses challenge to us. So the world keeps on changing, but are we changing with them? In 2021, we also were hit with the Indonesian Sulawesi earthquake. This was actually happened a couple of years ago too. But these are the things that kept on happening. Also in 2020, we remember the wildfire in Northern California in the US, also happened in Colorado, Oregon, the entire West Coast of the United States. They all got on fire. And that was something that was also once in the ages. We don't see this very often, and we don't see this very frequently, but now we are seeing them all over the places. We see them in the Amazons, we see them in Australia, we see them in the US. This is happening. And the disasters kept on getting bigger, and the disasters kept on getting more severe. And they're also changing in their variety. In the 2020, the Atlantic hurricane season, they also broke a record. In the past, the average of about 15 hurricanes a year. In the year 2020, there was over 30 hurricanes, and most of them were eventually became category 3+. And we understand that this was a huge difference. And why are all these things happening? Because of the climate change, because of what the human factors, what we're doing to our planet, to our world. And that is why all these things are happening more. And in Vietnam, Cambodia, the flooding also came because of too much water in too short a time. In the past, the rain will still fall, but it will fall in a very paced way, meaning that it will fall the same amount, but it would take a stretch. It would take a week. It would take a month or 2 weeks to finish the entire rainfall. But now the rain all comes down in less than a day or two. And now the water has nowhere to go. And we also heard Brother Alfredo talk about the super typhoon Haiyan. But did you also know that in year 2020, there was also a super typhoon Goni that took place? The damage is not as severe as Haiyan, but this super typhoon Goni also was very disastrous to the Philippines as well. And obviously, we all know that in 2019, starting 2019 to 2021, we actually know that, and we are still in the COVID-19 pandemic. We knew that it started sometime in 2019, the late 2019, and then 2020, February, it began to spread, and eventually went to the Europe, and eventually went to the US, and eventually to Central, South America, and then go to the entire Africa, Mideast, and then Asia also, Australia. No place is safe. No place is safe from the COVID-19 pandemic. And it's everywhere. It still is. And it's getting worse with all the variants. So we can see that all these things are ever changing. We can see that the disasters, whether by nature or man-made, are always changing. It's almost like a test that is coming to us, and the questions keep on changing. So how would you be able to study and prepare for this test where the questions keep on changing? And we also know about the vaccine that is going through around the world. It is our hope that the vaccine will stop and also will at least slow down the spread of the pandemic. So what can we do knowing and seeing that all these problems, all these man-made and natural disasters keep on happening all over the place? What can we do? There are many things that we can do, but as this situation is always changing, there's one thing that never changes. We can offer our most sincere prayer. We can offer our most sincere help. And most importantly, we can offer our most sincere love. And that is the theme of today. What doesn't change in this world where everything changes? It must be our resolve. It must be our vow where we want to keep love in this world. And that is through our actions. So with this world that keeps on changing, the one thing that remains the same are our 4 missions. As I mentioned, what keeps the same is this love. And through our actions, through our missions, we show what this love is made of. We show how we can care for the people that are in need through these 4 major missions of Tzu Chi. You probably have heard about it from Brother Alfredo. You probably have heard about it from different people as you are going through Tzu Chi Foundation. As you are learning, as you are becoming a Tzu Chi volunteer, you probably know about the mission of charity, the mission of medicine, the mission of education, and the mission of humanistic culture. You probably heard about this. But today, we're going to tell you a different perspective on what the 4 missions are. They don't change. They remain the 4 missions. But the core of them, what they actually bring for us, it changes throughout time so that we can adapt to this world, so that we can adapt to all the problems that we're facing. So these are the 4 missions: the mission of charity, the mission of medicine, the mission of education, and the mission of humanistic culture. Now let us go through each one of them and see what they are supposed to do for this changing world. So we could see that in this world, that there are these earth, fire, wind, and water disasters. We know that because this is the world that we live in. What we just explained in the world in the past year, in the past 2 years, in the past 3 years, that's what we've seen, right? We've seen the earthquakes, we've seen the forest fire, we've seen the hurricanes, and we've seen the floodings, whether it's in Australia, the US fires, or the hurricane season in the Atlantic or the Pacific, and the earthquake in the rim of fire. All these things are happening in the world. And the people that are in need, whether they're affected by these natural disasters or not, are there and they need our help. So what do? We go to these places, we provide them with these relief items. Not only do we provide them with these blankets, with the rice, also we provide this timely help so that our volunteers could be there. We go there to provide the hot food, serve the hot meals, and we are there to provide the lodging and also showing people that we are there with them. These are the forms of charity that we see on the outside. But today we're going to talk about what is this mission of charity redefined. What is it redefined? What is it? It's not just about distribution. It's not just about giving the blankets. It's not just about giving this food. It's not just about what do I give you. It's not just about what you get from Tzu Chi. And it's not just about helping you or helping them. So what is this mission of charity really about? It's about caring. It's about connecting. And it's about hope. What does that actually mean? What do you mean by caring? What do you mean by connecting? And what do you mean by hope? Let's talk about this story. Now, this story happened about 5 or 4 years ago. I remember this story very vividly because it's a story that touches my heart as well. It made me realize things that I didn't know before. This was the forest wildfire that happened in Canada. I heard these stories, I think it's probably more than 5 years ago. I heard this story many times from our volunteers in Canada. And then I found more about the details of the story. And this is what I'm going to tell you today, the stories of this forest fire in Canada. As you can see, when the fire broke out, everybody escaped. They all ran out from the fire and they all want to go to somewhere safe. They pack all their things and belongings into the car and they drove their families and all the way hundreds and hundreds of miles and kilometers away from the fire. This is something that you would do for your family. This is something that I would do for my family if it were to happen. You can see all the cars, they're going in one direction and then going all to the safety areas. Our volunteers out in the safety relocated areas, they go there and they provide a help. We have a stand there. We have a location within the relocated centers. So you see all these people, they come in. They are the relocated evacuees. They were evacuated from their homes. They have their belongings, but they might need more additional help. Therefore, our volunteers are there to provide them with the blankets. Now, these are the blankets that many of you should already know about, but I'm going to just explain to you a little bit. These are the blankets that were made from the plastic bottles, the PET bottles. They're done through this chemical process where we make the threads out of the PET bottles and then we make them into blankets. They feel very soft and they are very warm and they're very light. So it's a perfect combination for people that are on the move when they need something warm. And lo and behold, this is the perfect opportunity. So when these evacuated citizens of Canada, they're running away from the fire, they came to the relocated center. Our volunteers are there to explain to them what these blankets are. And you can see that this child, it really, after long hours of traffic, long hours of travel, getting away from the fire, you feel this blanket. It feels like home because it's very soft on the touch. And I'm sure if some of you have gotten this blanket before, and as I have a blanket of my own, I know how it feels. You know, when you touch it, it doesn't feel like you're touching a plastic bottle, a blanket that is made from plastic bottle. When you touch it, it really feels like very smooth, very silky. It feels like it's part of you. It feels warm. So we have a volunteer, this lady, who were there volunteering for our stand, and who was there helping to distribute the blankets that you see there. And the same way that she was a local resident, she was not an evacuee. So she was there to help all the evacuees getting their blankets. But as she was holding onto the blanket, you could tell that she was hugging the blanket because it feels warm, because it feels soft. And so she was hugging it. One day, when she was about to leave, this volunteer asked our volunteer, ask him, can I have a blanket for myself? Now, for all of you, our new volunteers and our friends from different places and different countries. Now we should know that these blankets are for the evacuees. So even though they feel very nice, and even though they feel very soft on the touch, they are for the people that need them. We as volunteers do not take these. So our volunteer, the person on the left, reply in a very polite way. Reply to her saying that, sister, we are here to volunteer our time. We're here to give our love. And therefore, this blanket here, it's not for us. We should not take them. So these blankets are only for the evacuees. That's what they need, and we're going to give it to them, but not for ourselves. We're going to give the blankets to the people that need them. And so this volunteer, this lady then continued, I think I need them. Our volunteer asked, why? She said, I've just finished 1 week of volunteering with Tzu Chi Foundation. I've seen you guys do some amazing, impossible things. People come in and people go. When they come in, I see their face. They're sad and filled with sorrow. When they go with this blanket, I see their faces are smiling again. I think there is some magic in this blanket. And right now I need this magic. Now our volunteer was very curious. What do you mean you need this magic? What magic is this? This is a blanket. The only magic that was here was that it was made from a PET bottle. And the PET bottles are collected by all the volunteers. So I don't see what magic there is in this blanket. The lady replied, because I'm a cancer patient and I'm about to undergo chemotherapy. I don't know what's going to happen. In the past week, I'm here with you volunteering, but now I must take my leave because I need to go through chemotherapy. And I think right now, I need this magic. I need something to comfort me, to let me hold on to, so I know that there is something to smile about. Because I've seen so many people smiling after getting this blanket. So our volunteer said, yes, the blanket is for the needy. In this case, you need this blanket. So I'm going to give it to you, and the best wishes to you as you undergo your chemotherapy. So the lady left and she went home. On her way home, she went to see her friend. Her friend also has a 10-year-old daughter who is also a cancer patient. But her cancer state was a lot worse. When she took the bus, our lady friend took the bus, grabbed this blanket, hug it in front of her, get on the bus, and go to her friend's house. Before she could enter the house, she could hear the cries from within the house. She right away knew that it was the daughter that was crying. Why? Because of extreme pain and discomfort. The lady volunteer walked in quietly and saw her friend, which is the mother and father of the 10-year-old child who was crying out loud. You could see their facial expressions. It was sad. They don't know what to do. They could not stop the cries. They could not stop the pain. I'm sure, as any parents would do, they would rather the pain and discomfort be on their own body than to be on their own daughter. But there's nothing that they could do. There is no magic to transfer this pain to the parents. So what did she do? Our volunteer did the only thing she knew she could do, did the only thing she knew how to do in the past 7 days, volunteering for Tzu Chi Foundation. Whenever she saw anyone crying, she would go up to them, take this blanket and wrap it around them and comfort them. And that's what she did. She took this blanket that was in front of her, opened it up, go to the crying child, wrap in the same way that she knew how to do, in the same way that she knew how to do in the past 7 days as a volunteer for Tzu Chi Foundation. As magic would have it, no one knew how this was possible, but magically, the child stopped crying. The child stopped crying, even started to smile. The parents couldn't believe how, and they couldn't believe why this was happening, but it did. And so she said, I don't know what I did, but I knew that the blanket has magic. And so she went home. After about 2 weeks, she came back to us. She came back to us telling us this. That's why we know the story. She shared with us the story of how she gave the blanket to the little girl, and eventually the girl died. The girl passed away because of cancer. And the parents, because of their love for their daughter, said, is it possible to bury the child with the blanket? So the blanket would go with the child to be buried. And she said, okay, if that was the one thing that she felt, the daughter felt that she was safe with, then it should be, it's okay. So our volunteer came back to tell us these stories. That's how we know about these stories. There isn't a lot of pictures, but we know these stories. And so she came back and telling us this story. And when she told us the story, our volunteer wondered if we should give her another blanket because she needed the magic to continue the fight against cancer. She said to us, I don't need another blanket because I realized that the magic wasn't the blanket. The magic is in us. The magic is in us. We already have it. Because the mission of charity is really just not about giving something. That something will help you. But the most important thing is to help the people in need finding that hope, is to allow us to give that hope to people. And it also allows us to keep that hope. We have it in all of us. That is the mission of charity. You see all these people that are in need. What do you give them? Not just the rice. You gave them hope. You gave them the care. You gave them something more than just the rice or the blanket because you care for them. Know this. You are way more valuable than the blanket or the rice and all the food that you're giving, or even the houses, the construction material. You are much better. You are more than all of that because you represent hope. And that is something that we have in all of us that we can give. So that is the mission of charity, something that's redefined, no longer just about giving something to others, no longer just about giving something, building something, making something for others. It's about giving them hope, something that is intangible. You can't touch hope, so you can't take it away, but you can give it to other people. So next, we're talking about the mission of medicine. And when we talk about the mission of medicine, we usually talk about hospitals. We usually talk about doctors, especially right now in the pandemic season. We talked about COVID-19. We talk about the vaccine. However, that is the old way of talking about the mission of medicine. In this new redefined mission of medicine, we no longer talk about the buildings, the infrastructure of treating people and treating patients. So it's no longer just about hospitals. Now in Taiwan, we have 4 major hospitals and 3 smaller regional ones. It's not just about that. We also have worldwide free clinic, as well as TIMA, the Tzu Chi International Medical Association, the medical volunteers all around the world. But it's not just about that. It's not just about all these kind-hearted and good doctors that's giving other people hope. That's not just, it's more than that. So it's that, and it's more than that. And it's not just about curing illnesses. What is it? It's about healing. See, this word is different. It's about healing, not curing. It's about healing by caring for others, by connecting to others. I think it has a very special power. The mission of medicine. What is the mission of medicine? It's about the ability to heal, to cure, to treat all the people that are hurt, whether you are hurt on the outside or whether you're hurt on the inside, whether you are hurt physically or spiritually or mentally. Mission of medicine is there to heal. And how do you do that? By caring for others. That's how you heal yourself. That's how you heal yourself, which is by helping others. A couple years ago, that there was this once again raining season in Burma, in Myanmar, and there was a lot of flooding. So the flooding came through, and you can imagine that in a country in Myanmar where it's mostly agriculture, you could imagine that the disaster was huge. The crops and also the farmlands are all destroyed because of the rain and the flood. Worse yet, the rain came down in different months. So you can imagine that when the farmers began to seed their lands, when they all plant their seeds and begin their crops, the rain came, the flood came, and washed away all these seeds. So the farmers have to take out the loan to buy more seeds so that they could begin their farming again. The rain came again, washed it away. This happened 3 times, and therefore the farmers are in very, very much in the debt. They could not overcome their debt. They could not farm anything, and the water just keeps on coming in the worst yet time. So what happened? Then Tzu Chi volunteers, we went there, we gave them the seeds so that they could quickly grow the very first type, which is the peas. The peas require shorter time to grow. They require less resources to grow. So that's the first part where we gave them the seeds for the peas. And then we gave them the seeds in the next crop, next rotation. We gave them the seeds for the rice grains, so that they could have the peas for the initial payments, and that they could have all the top grade grains in the second rotation. So when they grow, when they have all these, you can imagine that they began, once they harvested, they began to be able to be independent financially. They began to have some return and income so that they can allow themselves to continue the process. And we can see that after the harvest, they're really, really happy. This is after the harvest from the peas, and they're about to begin the second rotation for the grains. But what is the most important thing is that we began to tell these people, tell these farmers, you know what you can do? Now you have harvested. Now you can take a little bit out of all your harvest to help others. And that's what they did. Did you know that by helping others, it helps you heal? All these people that went through something very difficult, they went through 3 rotations of farming, and they all went to the water because of flooding, all got destroyed. Now they have a chance to stand up again. And now by helping others, by willingly taking a part of their harvest to help others, they are now seeing the hope that people once gave them in the mission of charity. Now they are giving that hope to other people. This is no longer mission of charity. They are now beginning the process to heal. They are no longer victims of this flood. They are now the ones giving help, giving hope, finding hope, and keeping that hope for other people. When they began to provide their harvest back to us, we were so overwhelmed by all this love. They came in with buckets, they came in with bags, bushels, they came in with all these containers just to share with us their harvest, just to share with us what they have done. And for some of them, they do not have the official container. They will come in with their own bags, taking whatever they can to help. You can see that we had to stack up all these buckets of rice, all these buckets of peas. Why? Because they now know that through helping others, they see themselves no longer as victims. They see themselves not victimized by the flood, but rather enriched by this experience, by this life experience. They have healed themselves. And so not only that, but we go around while we're sharing with them, we told them that they could also, not only with their harvest, but they could also deposit a little bit at a time, something that Brother Alfredo talked about in the bamboo banks. You just put in a little bit of time. That changes your role. You used to be the one that takes these donations because you need them. Now I am the one that's giving this to the donation. You are no longer the victims of this flood. You are now a benefactor. You are now helping people. You are now kind-hearted, compassionate person that is donating to help others. That is the process of healing. You are no longer a patient. You are now the doctor. You are now a healer because you have healed yourself. That is the mission of charity, finding the hope, and the mission of medicine, which is to healing yourself. Now we move on to the third mission, which is education. What is education? When you talk about education in Taiwan, you recall that there are these schools that we have built, whether it's going through, whether it's because of disaster or it's because of our mission. When we build these schools and the universities, we have all these education courses, and we raise all these talents for the society. We build these talents, we build these schools. That's what we do. But in the redefined mission of education, a new way of thinking in the changing world, how do we maintain the mission of education, but still remain able to catch up to the new changing world? The mission of education, it's not just about schools. Yes, it's about schools, but it's more than that. It's not just about making sure that we have good students, the students that learn, and they also learn how to be a good person. It's not just about that. It's not just about building for future talents. Right now in Mozambique, there are more than 20 schools that are ready in the planning stage, where we are going to help them rebuild or repair more than 20 schools in Mozambique. It's not just about building. It's not just about schools. It's not just about students. So what is this about? This is, after all, mission of education. So what is this? It's about educating. It's about letting people know what you know. It's about letting people know how you heal yourself. Letting people know how you pass on this hope. Letting people know what you have done before to bring hope to other people. And that's it. See, all these missions are connected. Mission of charity is about finding that hope. Finding that hope for other people. Mission of medicine is about healing yourself by helping others. mission of education teaches you that how do you let other people know about this? You were once hurt, you were once a victim of a natural disaster. You change your role by helping others. Now it's time for you to become the teacher by passing this education to others, sharing with people, letting them know how they can become, how they are no longer the victim, and how they can become the people that helps, not the people that are helped. So it's about educating, letting people, showing people that you can care and you can heal also. So this was what probably many of you probably know, that since year 2011, the civil war in Syria broke out. And ever since then, tens of thousands of millions of refugees flooded Central and Mid East. And I'm sure right now, perhaps in Thailand, in some areas in Thailand, as well as in Jordan, in different countries, in Turkey, there are still many, many refugees around. And in the beginning of the crisis, there were many refugees that travel by land and then travel by sea. I'm sure you heard about many of these stories. And when part of these refugees, when they were traveling by land, they went through the country called Serbia. Serbia was a country where it was landlocked, and there were railroads that promised, some of them promised the refugees to bring them to Europe, especially Germany, where they were able to find the new homes, new identities, and a new beginning or hope. However, due to many problems and many issues, these trains don't operate all the time. So you have these refugees that were stuck in Serbia, in different places along the route to Europe. This is what our volunteers did. Our volunteers went there and we showed them that we care. We play with them, we have food for them, and we make sure that when they're cold, we brought them jackets for the winter. So why is this important? Because we're teaching them. You see, a lot of them are children. Why? Because the parents, when they escaped from their homes, they brought their children with them. Obviously, the children means hope. Children means tomorrow. And these are the children that are running for their lives, running for their hopes for the tomorrow. Our volunteers are there to show the care, but most importantly, they educate them, show them that they could be help to each other too. Show them that if they help each other, they could heal their own wounds and they could be people that are helping one another too. You see all these students, you see all these kids, they're there, they need help. And their help isn't just the clothing, the jacket, the food. More than that, it's education, teaching them how to be a good person, passing on this knowledge of how to bring hope to others. So what we did for them is exactly that. And here I wanted to mention our brother Rudolph. And he's seen here on the top left corner in the white cap. When I met him, he was already, he doesn't always have good health, but he's very dedicated. He dedicated himself into the work of these refugee crises, as well as communicating with the government officials. And when we were able to go to Serbia, it was mostly because of his effort to talk to the government, to talk to the locals, and also his relationship with the Germany government officials that allow Tzu Chi Foundation and the volunteers to be able to go there and help them. And Brother Rudolph was always very dedicated. You know, you could always see him, you know, even though it was very difficult for him to travel around because of his conditions. It was difficult for him to walk around. I remember it was always difficult for him to travel back to Taiwan. But whenever he does, he always made sure to check on our master. And our master is always very kind and loving, making sure that Rudolph gets what he needed in terms of how to make him the most comfortable, because indeed it was not easy. And so I remember the good times with him, and I remember the times where he was very dedicated and he needed the resources, and sometimes the resources aren't always there. He had to find his way to find these resources, but at the end he did what he could to help the refugees. And I think that's very important. I used him as a role model in the mission of education, because I think this is what exactly this is to show that the people, not just the people that we're helping, but also our own volunteers, what we could do to help them, to heal themselves, to show them where the hope is, not just these relief items, not just rebuilding the rice, the blankets. It's to show that we have we have it in us to be able to give people hope, to show that we could heal our wounds and heal other people's wounds if we begin to call people to help others. So lastly, now we come to the mission of humanistic culture. What is humanistic culture? A lot of people might think that this is about the culture aspect, which is the TV station, the monthly magazines, or all these online reading material or broadcasting. I think it's not just about that. As you probably know, that all the things I'm talking about, it's not just that, right? It's not just about TV station, the drama and the programs. It's not just about the media, the websites or publication. What is this? It's actually about sharing your experience and knowledge. What is mission of humanistic culture? It's about role models, about what you have seen, about what you have done. This world needs more good news. This world needs more news about kind people, about goodness in people, about the hope in people, so that hopefully we can bring hope to all corners of the world. When we are not able to go there, at least the stories, the words, the videos, the images will go to places where we can't go. This is the mission of humanistic culture. It's about sharing your experience. It's about teaching others to teach others, passing on your knowledge, teach them to help others, and then teach them to help others, and then teach them to teach more people to help others. It's a passing on of this culture. It's passing on about this experience, sharing with people what you have got, what you felt when you help other people, sharing about your knowledge about why and how to help people. And that's what mission of humanistic culture is. That is why Master wanted all of us to watch Dai TV whenever we can, because there are all these experiences, all these stories, all these things that help you know what you should do, especially our brothers and sisters in Africa. All of them are our role models. All of them can share with us what they have done and what they are doing. And so are you. So these are the four missions: the mission of charity, which is to help us find hope, help us keeping that hope; mission of medicine, which is to find a way to heal people. How do we heal? By helping others. When you help others, you begin the healing process. So how do you heal another person? You heal them by teaching them to help others. It's very simple. It's really, really simple. So once you help people find the hope, you also heal their wounds, and then you teach them how to teach more people to do the same. And then you share your experience. You share your experience so other people know about how to heal themselves, even though we might not be there. We might not be able to go there, but the stories can, the words can, the videos can, the pictures can. So let them go and let them see the words, the videos, the stories so that they can begin to find that hope, so that they can begin to know how to heal themselves. So what remains the same in the world that is ever changing? The 4 missions remains the same. The 4 missions are the mission of charity, the mission of medicine, the mission of education, and the mission of humanistic culture. So why are they remain the same? Because it always is very important to connect and care, to find that hope, and then heal yourself and heal others, and then teach others how to heal, and then teach others to teach more people. These never changes. Care and love, and then heal yourself and heal others, finding that hope, and then teach others to find that hope, teach others to heal, and then teach more people to teach. These 4 missions never changes. It's a journey of discovery, to discover hope and love, to discover each other, to know each other, that even though we might not see each other in real person, but we know that we care and love for each other, and to discover yourself, to know that you can be the vehicle to deliver the hope, to know that you can be the vehicle to deliver this love. And this journey is also known as the Bodhisattva path. And this is what Master Cheng Yen has constructed for us, that as long as we are in Tzu Chi, as long as we're on this path, we will be doing the 4 missions, and we'll always be helping people find the hope. We'll always be healing each other. We'll be teaching them, and we'll be sharing our experiences. And the most important thing, you can do it too. The 4 missions, we don't need big hospitals, big schools to do that. You can do it too. You have it in you. You are the Tzu Chi 4 missions. You can go and proudly say, when I go to a disaster place, I can be there to help bring in the hope. I am there to help people heal. I am there to teach them how to heal, and I'm there to share my experiences. These are the 4 missions. You are the 4 missions that Tzu Chi needs. So thank you for your time, and I hope that we all become the 4 missions. While we are committed to the 4 missions, we remember that it all comes from love. And this love is all inherent in all of us. We don't have to look from the outside for it. It's all in us. So going back to the story, that blanket doesn't have the magic. The magic is in all of us. You just have to believe it. You believe it, and then you will be able to find and make that hope, bring that hope to the people that most needed it. That is the true magic, and that is compassion. Thank you to all the listeners, and I hope that since this sharing, you will be much better understanding what the 4 missions are, and to also know that you have the power. You are the 4 missions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother Joe, for your sharing and giving us a different perspective of the 4 missions and redefining our Tzu Chi 4 missions. Through your sharing, we were able to see that the world is just not changing to be a better place. It is also, the world changes because there are also natural disasters and man-made disasters. And everywhere around us, and many people are suffering because of the effects of the natural disasters. And these disasters are actually getting more severe year by year. So during this ever-changing world, what remains the same? I think Brother Joe gave us the answer, which is our 4 mission remains the same. And he also told us, like, during this ever-changing world, what can we do? Brother Joe shared to us, it is our most sincere prayer, our realization to change and make a difference, our action of giving, our help, and most importantly, it is our love that can change and make this world a better place. And in this ever-changing world, it is also our good thoughts and action that remains the same. Today, we really welcome everyone to join us in the journey of discovering. Discovering what? Does everyone still remember how many discoveries do we have? Brother Joe shared. if you can show us how many discovery with your fingers. Tamayo. Okay, it is actually for discovering love and hope, and discovering each other and yourself. So we really welcome everyone to join the journey of Bodhisattva and Tzu Chi. Thank you, Brother Joe, for your sharing. Right now we have a 10-minute break. So could everyone please return back to the channel at in 10 minutes, and we'll have a short 10 minutes break. Thank you so much.
Peace in our land. Keep our hearts from sorrows and pain. Bless us all with joy and hope. Love and care for each one in this world. Let us pray for peace in our land. Keep our hearts for each one in this world. Let us pray for peace in our land. Keep our hearts from sorrows and pain. Bless us all with joy and hope. Love and care for each one in this world. Let us pray for peace in our land. Keep our hearts from sorrows and pain. Bless us all with joy and hope. Love and care for each one in this world. Love and care for each one in this world. peace in our land. Keep our hearts from sorrows and pain. Bless us all with joy and hope. Love and care for each one in this world. Love and care for each one in this world. Let us pray for peace in our land. Keep our hearts from sorrows and pain. Bless us all with joy and hope. Love and care for each one in this world. Let us pray for peace in our land. Keep our hearts from sorrows and pain. Bless us all with joy and hope. Love and care for each one in this world. Let us pray for peace in our land. Keep our hearts from sorrows and pain. Bless us all with joy and hope.
2分钟。
Love and care for each one in this world. Let us pray for peace in our land. Keep our hearts from sorrows and pain. Bless us all with joy and hope. Love and care for each one in this world. Love and care for each one in this world.
How? Okay. Okay. Good morning, Master of the boat, and Master De Yi, and welcome everyone back online. Let us please all stand and respectively welcome Master De Yi. Let's all bow to Master De Yi.
Bow to the Buddha.
Thank you. Welcome everyone back to our session with and then today we have Master De with us at our live session. I'm sure everyone is very curious as to why we are standing outside. So today we are actually at our our main branch of the Jingsi Books and Cafe. And then I'm sure everyone online, many of you haven't been back to the boat before, so you're not very familiar with this play. Our main branch of the Jingsi Books and Cafe is actually located just right next to our Jingsi boat. It's actually a 5 minute walk from the boat. And then right now we're just standing at the main branch of the Jingsi Books and Cafe. So today we would like to ask Master De to please kindly give us a short tour of the Jingsi Books Cafe and also its surroundings. Master De.
Yes, thank you, Natalia. Dear Master Rabo, and Natalia, and our online family members, greetings. Yes, indeed, just like Natalia just said, this is the main branch of Jingsi Bookstore. And on the location side, you can see we have soap factories. Here is where we made our handmade soap, our cleansing product, and some of our daily necessities. And then we walk a little further. Next to the left would be our food factory, where we made our multi-grain powder and our instant rice, or some of the snack that was made by our organic rice, and also our full production line that was manufactured in our food factories. And in between, you can see there's some cars. So here would be our parking lot. And here would be also the place that we welcome our guests and our Dharma family and our visitors who come before they enter to the Jingsi boat. So first, we want to give everyone a warm welcoming. So welcome home.
Welcome everyone.
So follow us. Let's go inside the bookstore.
Okay, welcome home everyone. I really enjoyed the atmosphere at the Jingsi Books and Cafe. It is actually very smoothing. And inside here, you really find like deep peacefulness. Master De, can you explain to us why at the entrance we have so many books here?
So these are the books written by Dharma Master Cheng Yen. And the gray cover you see in here are the Sutra series.
Okay. What sutra is this? Why have you decided to display this sutra right at the entrance?
Because it's the wisdom of masters.
Oh.
And we also, this is the Immutable Sutra, the Immutable Meaning Sutra.
Okay, I think I was introduced to the sutra when I was at a very young age. And then actually through the sutra, I was able to learn that all the basis of Tzu Chi Foundation actually comes from the sutra of innumerable meanings. And I'm actually very curious because isn't the text of the sutra is actually very short, but why is our sutra is actually two sets of books and so long?
About 5 times the size of the original one.
Yes.
Yeah, some of the very good question, because some of the guests or some of our brother and sister would ask the same question. I remember once the master says, the sutras are the path. The path is a road to walk on. Mm-hmm. And teaching the sutra is actually teaching the path. Mm-hmm. And teaching the path is actually showing people on how to walk the path.
Right. Yes.
So that was the very original form of the sutra. And these, written by Dharma Master Cheng Yen, not only contains the Buddhist story, but also contains the inspiring story of all the Tzu Chi volunteers, how they practice Buddhist teaching into their daily life. So if we don't walk this path, then there will be no way, and we have no experience to find the scenery, the beautiful scenery that along the path.
Yes, the sutra is actually very meaningful to myself, and one of my favorite verses in the sutra is that it taught me that one seed can grow to millions of seed and also to the seed of infinite. And it's telling us that everyone can make difference, and then we can all contribute and then inspire other people to join us. Master Day, would you like to show us a round of more books around the Jingsi
The
Books and
bookstore?
Yes.
Sure. One of the most popular books would be Jingsi Aphorism. Have everyone heard about the Jingsi Aphorism? And here we have the Chinese edition. We also have some English edition, and they will also translate it into 14 different languages. And then here you can see we have the Jingsi Aphorism in volume 1, 2, and 3. So all 3 volumes, and also the whole English edition written by Dharma Master Jing Yan. You can also find them here. And we also have a pocket size of Jingsi Aphorism. You can see this is a Mandarin and this is English. So these are bilingual. If you want to learn the English, this is a very good book to get started. It's very convenient in size that you can carry it along with you, whether in your pocket or inside your purse, and so you can carry it along with you.
Yes.
Nice. Book.
Thank you. Yes, and I think through these English translations, our overseas volunteers could actually understand more about Tzu Chi and also the words that Master wants to give us and let us understand more of Tzu Chi. Can you introduce to us what are these?
Oh, these are our ceramic collection. Actually, all the ceramic collection that you see in here were made by Master De Zi, who was the first disciple of Masters.
Yes, and we'll share about the story of these later on.
Okay. Every piece are very unique and has own meaning behind it.
And then you can see here is our Jingsi abode.
Master De Zi will always carve out the spirit of Jingsi family tradition onto her piece. So every piece are the artwork and are very unique.
Yes, and I think here are all the food products that Master De Yi mentioned to us that were all produced at the Shirley factory opposite us. Can you introduce us to some of these products?
Oh yes, like in here, we have some bean noodles and also some rice noodle. These are very healthy and very delicious. With some water, it can become a soup, a noodle soup.
Yes.
And in here, we have a full line of instant rice. Our online family probably are very familiar with these instant rice, but probably not all the flavor.
Yes.
Because each flavor are specially designed for different country. When we send out to the disaster area, we will try the flavor first before we send to the different country to make sure that the people overseas would like the taste.
Yes.
And see, in here we have tomato herb, we have seaweed, we have sweet corn, curry, garden vegetables, and Chinese kale. So
Yes.
all 6.
Yes,
Okay.
and I think each product has a story to tell, especially I think the one with the tomato flavor one, it's very westernized. And I think it was from Master Wisdom to design for the people at Serbia.
Serbia, yes,
Yes.
one of the country.
Yes,
That
and here
was
we have our
a full line
multi-
of multi-grain powder.
and
Okay, and then here are some reusable utensils. I think they are very important to carry with you, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. Everyone should have your own reusable chopstick, the reusable bowls and cups. Comes in handy. It's not only good for your health, but also better for the environment. Disposable utensils that are not really good, are really harm to the environment. I'm sure Natalia also have one that yourself.
yes, I use it every day for lunch. Yes, so thank you, Master Jay, for this wonderful short tour. And I think we can welcome our family members back home to our Jingsi Books and Cafe and also our Jingsi abode when the pandemic pandemic's end. Thank you, Master Dai.
Thank you,
Master
Natalia.
Dai, you can have a seat and we'll continue with our interview, our live session today.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. Today we are actually very grateful to have Master Dai with us. And I'm sure many of you like online right now, it's your first time to meet Master Dai or it's your first time to see Master Dai. So Master Dai, is it possible for you to briefly introduce yourself to us and then to our families online?
Okay, thank you, Natalia. Thank you for having me. Dharma Master Ching Yen gave me the Dharma name as the E. Actually, my life has been very simple. I'm an ordinary person with an ordinary life. But what I really want to say is I'm very grateful that this is a way to open the door for us. It's a way of connecting with one another and providing us different chances for and different assets for those who can't really travel to Taiwan through the video conference. We really can benefit a lot. And I mean, how refreshing it is to see all of you joining in your own personal spaces and in different parts of the world. I mean, I'm really grateful that we have this opportunity to be together. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Through technology, we're able to connect like this even during this difficult time. Master Dai, I've heard before that your connection with Tzu Chi has to do with your mother. Can you share about more about how you were introduced to Tzu Chi, and then what was your connection with Tzu Chi?
Okay. Yes, first I have to thank Sister Josephine, Yi Hui Shijie, who's a good friend of my mom. She's also a senior Tzu Chi volunteer. She's been very active in Tzu Chi, so she always invites my mom to different kinds of Tzu Chi activities. So the more my mom gets involved, the more effort she puts into, and the more time she puts into. So around 29 years ago, my mom became a certified Tzu Chi commissioner.
Okay. Yes, even myself, I was introduced to Tzu Chi by my families and friends, and also by my mother. And then I really enjoyed joining Tzu Chi, because I think in Tzu Chi I was able to realize how lucky I am, or how fortunate I am, because through Tzu Chi, through the volunteering work, I was able to see sufferings in my community, because I was born, I lived in South Africa before. And then it really helped me to realize the richness in life. So Master Dai, I'm very curious as to why you have chosen the path of Tzu Chi, and then why you have chosen, what were the reasons that you have chosen to become a Buddhist nun or to practice Buddhism? It must be like you need to take so much courage to make this decision, because there are so many desires that you have to leave behind.
That's true. But I have to thank my mom and my parents and all the people who supported me. Because when I was little, my mom became a Tzu Chi commissioner. So I get a chance to follow my parents to do some volunteering work during the weekend. I remember there's once my mom asked me, "Do you want to go with me?" And I didn't think, I didn't hesitate, and I just said yes, because I think it's. I'm kind of quite excited, and I feel like it sounds like a mission to me. So I go along with the volunteers, and I mean, when we arrive at destination, one of the brothers ring the doorbell. I mean, how I get inspired. The brother ring the doorbell, but we be outside for quite a long time. And there's an 84-year-old grandma who answers the door. And when I step in, the first thing I noticed is the smell was really, really unpleasant. And also I saw that she had to take care of her bedridden daughter. I just couldn't believe what kind of situation is this without other people on their side.
Yes.
The two of them
helping
have to take care of them, take care of each other. But I mean, very luckily and thankfully to all the city volunteers, they were our long-term care recipients.
Yes.
So they have a really good interaction. So then the thing to do is to help the grandma to clean out her house,
Mhm.
to hope that she can improve her living conditions. And the intensive care, the grandma was really easy to get along with. And they were very content and very thankful to see TG volunteers. So whenever they see TG volunteer come, they will always have that smile on their face.
Yes.
So I feel really relieved because of the volunteers. So they can improve the community. They can make their neighbor have a better living standard. So I'm very grateful. That would be the first time that I feel that I realized what people meant to see suffering
Mhm.
of others in order
Yes.
to appreciate what you
Mhm.
have and to see what you have.
Okay. So is this the reason that made you decide that you want to practice Buddhism?
That was one of the reasons why I was inspired of that. But and my life has been going very smooth,
Mhm.
without worry and comfortably. And I just think, is this the life I want for the rest of my life? I
Yes.
think this is one of the points that people will think out one point or the other. And sometimes it probably takes a lifetime for people to figure out. But for some people, it might probably just take comes easily to get the answer. But for me, when I was little, I get a chance to see how my parents get involved, to volunteer,
Yes.
to see the care recipients, to see the people who suffer from the illness, to see people who suffer from disaster,
Mhm.
as well as some going through the poverty.
Mhm.
So I start to think with about abundance of life and all material goods that I have,
Mhm.
I should really just get rid of all the things
Mhm.
and for the sake of the suffering
Mhm.
in the world.
Okay.
Because I think I found that through giving
Mhm.
can bring you the most happiness.
Okay, I see your reason now. I think it is because you're able to let go all of these external factors, and then you're able to have no worry, and you're able to care more for this world, and then also for the sufferings. So I'm also very I've heard a story when you first came back to the boat and when you first decided that you want to take this path, and then you were sharing your thoughts to Master about this, and then at the visitors guest room of Dharma Master, when you shared this thought, Master told you she told you that here at the boat, we do not wear beautiful clothes every day. I think Master was actually referring to the qipao that all commissioners wear. It's actually a very, very beautiful dress. And I'm very curious as to what does Master mean by that, that you can't, when you come back to the boat, to the Jingsa boat, you do not wear beautiful clothes every day.
Yes, indeed. Master was mentioned that before. Master, the qipao was
Yes.
also a traditional Chinese robe.
Yes.
Because at the early, in my opinion, I'm
Yes.
guessing why Master say this. I think it's because when Chichi Foundation was started,
Yes.
Master insists that all the charity funds should go to our charity mission,
Yes.
not a single dollars to the foundation or to a bill.
Mhm.
So we have to work every day.
Yes.
And so we have to do handcraft, and we have to do some multigrain. We have to make some multigrain powders, anything that you can think of. We have to doing 30 more kinds of handcraft to support ourselves, not just the living expenses, but also we have to take care of all the city volunteers when they come back to a boat. All the living expenses. We're all the volunteers.
Yes, like today, our brother Trader also shared that here at the Jingsi Boat, one of the most distinguishing features is that we do not have a donation box. Having a donation box is actually very common in monasteries, temples, or monastery where Buddhist practitioner practice, because I think they need to focus, if I'm not mistaken, it's because they need to focus on practicing and learning Buddhism and the sutra. But here, like Master Dei said, we don't here at the boat, all the masters have to support themselves, and besides supporting themselves, you're also like a big support of all the Tzu Chi volunteers around the world. And there's this saying that there's this rule that master passed down to all the other master at the boat, that a day without work is a day without meal. So every master have to work every day. And then if I'm not mistaken, I think it is 22 kinds of works or handcraft that all the master has done through the 55 years. Is that right?
Actually, 21 handcrafts before 19 made more than 30 some handcrafts.
Yes, and I think
35.
These are some of the handcrafts we make. Can you share us about this? The candle.
The candle
It is
is
also one of the handcrafts that the master at the Jingsi Boat used to make.
okay. Yes, indeed. Because we all have to work, and candle is one of the handcraft that we made earlier, and we still have this right now. We're still making this. And the special part about the Jingsi candle is because cultivation. Because the master couldn't see all the materials, so invention of the candle. Back from the early cultivation, when Master Lo and tried to melt and wax dirt onto the table, so the wax was wasted, and it's really hard to clean the surface.
Yes.
Because the wax was just stick onto the surface and really hard to scrap it out.
Yes.
So Master started thinking, how can you make a candle that uses all of the wax and without any smoky odor?
Yes.
You can see our candle is the center of the candle is is something very special.
Yes. It's
It's
different
not
from
the
other
cotton, it's
candles.
not a cotton rod.
Yes,
It won't just fall apart.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
When we're in Tzu Ching, we always say this is a never tearing candle. So it's like it doesn't, if it tears,
It's just melted in the center.
Yes, the wax melts in the center, and it's reusable every time. And then earlier on, when we were when we were by the entrance of the Jingsi Books and Cafe, Master Dei shared to us, this is actually handcrafted by our first disciple of masters, Master De Tzu. Is there any stories you can share to us about the handcraft ceramic?
Yes, there's a very unique about this ceramic lantern. It's actually very light, just like a really airy, very light. But when you see outside, it's really sturdy.
Yes.
And you can also see there's a Jingsi bow that was carved out on the lantern, and also on the side there's a sutra that was the essence of Tzu Chi
Yes.
and the essence of Jingsi Dharma lineage.
Oh, this lantern reminds me that when I was teaching, they say that every youth could be a candle which lights up everyone's life. Every time when I see that, it reminds me of this. So through these stories, we're able to realize that actually our masters at the Jingsi Abode have to work every day, and then your lives are very, very busy. And then I've heard before that actually Master De comes from a pretty well-off family, and then you've shared before that the only house chores that you have done before was washing your dishes. If I'm not mistaken, you said when you were younger, every time when you finish your meals, you have to wash your own bowls and your chopsticks, your meal sets. And then, but when you decided to come back to the boat, you have to do a lot of work. So can you sort of share to us, like, what is your day like at the Jingsi Abode? And then what time do you wake up in the morning?
Oh, okay, we wake up 3:50 in the morning,
That's
and
right.
then we will attend the recitation. What I like about the recitations, when we prostrate to the Buddha or to the Bodhisattva, it actually reflects our own nature. I really like the time when we do the prostrations, and because it's the only time that we have dialogue with ourselves. And after the recitation, would be Master's Dharma talk at 5:20. And after the Dharma talk, we will have a very simple, easy breakfast at 6 o'clock, and then followed by the Dharma assembly, the volunteer assembly at 7 o'clock through 8:30. But most of us go to work between 7 to 8 o'clock. Just depend on the work that we're doing.
So can you share to us what kind of work are you responsible to do here at the Jingsi Abode?
Right now, or you mean right now or
Yes,
from the very
right
beginning?
now.
Oh, right now I'm in the Jingsi Humanities Culture. I'm in the planning department.
Okay. And then in the future, what kind of other works have you done before?
Before this department, I was in the sales department, still in Jingsi Humanities Culture, but in sales department for almost 2 years. And before that, I was with Master De Dun Shifu, 然后 receiving a lot of guests from all walks of life before they see Master.
Okay. Yes. And then you said, so now you're responsible of the Jingsi, is it the Jingsi?
I'm in a planning department.
A planning department. And then here at the Jingsi, like you said, a lot of products are produced at the Xie factory. And like it's Hunlu. Yes.
Okay, this one. Okay.
Yes. There's a story to this about this natural extract.
Oh, the natural extract. This is
Yes.
the green tea. Oh, this is from the tea tree, the Australia tea tree. Oh, this one, there's a very special story. It goes back in 2005 because I'm not sure if everyone have heard about the Longwang typhoon. After the typhoon, Master just came out from the lecture hall and walk around the abode, and she found that there's fallen tree on the ground all over the places, and Master couldn't bear to see all the tree just goes to waste, and just said, if someone can turn that into something that can be useful, something that can be used, then that would be great. And I'm very grateful that Master De Jian was on the side, and who's in charge of our soap factory. So when she heard about this, she just started to find a way to use all of the leaf that was fallen on the ground, and then Master De Jian will turn the fallen leaf into this hydrate soap.
Yes. So from these stories, we can tell that Master really wants us to cherish, to care for Mother Nature, from the story of the candle and from this natural extract. And then here at the boat, we also produce our own hydrosol. I think it's from the rose, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
This one. Yes.
This is called the intensive
Oh.
hydrating lotion. And this is come from this flower is very special. This is called the rose rugosa. And the smell is really charming. I would say charming, very special. Their story about this is just since I was in the planning department, so I get a chance to take some pictures or do some filming while I can, because I have to do the advertisement, and also have to, even though I was studying marketing, but luckily I also learned some graphic design when I was in college. So after I came back, I just tried to make some advertisement as well as make some short video clips. And when I go, I got a lot of chance to go down to the field to take a picture of the flower or catch some picture of how master working in the field. And if I have time, I will also join them to experience some time myself. And I remember that when I go down to the field, master were picking the flower, this rose. Oh, very good. And I think there's a very tricky part when you pick the flower. You have to put your thumb in the stamen and just twist a little bit, and then the flower just come in whole piece. But if you place your thumb in different position, when you twist it, all the petal will just fall apart. The flower will just go wasted.
You have to be, when I'm taking these flowers, because I have been there before, you have to be very mindful and soft to the flowers, because if you're too hard, then the petals just goes apart, and I think you can't use those anymore.
No.
Yes.
So just all go to wasted.
So I'm actually curious, how many roses are inside this this bottle of lotion?
Yeah, anyone want to guess? Next time we can have a QR code. I can design a QR code online that everyone can just type online to give some answer. How many roses do you think will fit into this tiny bottles? 150 ml.
150.
I mean the size
Yes.
of the bottle is
Yes, 150 ml.
But how many roses are inside this tiny bottle? It's actually
50?
750 roses.
Oh.
It's not just the roses, it's all the labor of love, all the people that all the story that behind this product. So it's actually just a lotion that can moisturize your skin, but there's actually a lot of moving story behind it.
Yes.
From the time when we plant the seed of the rose, and how master nurture them every day, and how people gather together, because this flower is really amazing. When master planted the rose, they didn't think it will bloom every day. After they planted, they just found out they need a lot of people to take care of the roses. There's a rose field. When you come to a bowl, you'll see there's a whole field. The half of the herbal garden is filled with these roses.
Yes. So it's just a small bottle, but it has love from so many people. And then it's like what we said in the beginning, it's like from one seed to infinite. So from your sharings, we're able to also experience, also to realize that life at the Jingsi boat is actually very, very simple, because here, like, we need to conserve. So can you share us any stories on like how you conserve the materials, and then how you cherish all the resources you have and like conserve it?
Okay, I think I will start with master, because all the teaching was started with master. Master really set herself as an example for us to follow. So master will, like, if we state about the conserving water, because we know that the population has become double in the last half century, and our demand for water has tripled, and the number is increasing in all sectors. So the conserving not just the water or any kind of resources becomes even more important. So it's always good to share some tips on how to save water or save resources. Like Master, she will use her the water that she washed her face, and then she will wash her hand throughout the day. And for the shower water, Master will collect the shower water and to flush the toilet throughout the day. So these are the very beginning. And then a bowl, we also collect rainwater. The rainwater will be collected in the reservoir underneath the basement of the Chichen building. If everyone come back to a boat, you will get a chance to learn about where is the Chichen building. And beneath the building, underneath the building, will be a reservoir. And we will use that water to water the plant and to mop the floor or to clean the surrounding area. And as well as, and our recycling station, I saw Master De Ding, who's in charge of the recycling station. She also collect the rainwater to wash the reusable plastic bags and bottles, or even clean the floor. So our even the recycling station is piled up with a lot of things, but it's very clean and without any odor.
And then there's also one story that really, really inspired me. There's, I think Master Day can also share to everyone, is how Master uses her paper.
Oh,
We actually have a picture for everyone to have a look.
oh yes, that's
It really inspired me, the
extraordinary.
story. Yes.
I'm always so moved by how Master taught us. Master said we have to cherish every piece of paper, every drop of water, because you cherish about it, you care about it, so you will pay attention when you use it. And Master will not just, most of us probably use the paper just once and just toss it away, but not for Master. She won't just use it and just toss it away. She will reuse it and rewrite it. For the first time, you can see Master write it with a pencil, very light in color. And then second time, Master used the blue ink to write over it. And the third time, Master will use the red ink to write over that blue ink. And at the fourth time, the very last, Master will use the brush, the hand brush, to write on the paper. So see, only just one paper, but Master can use 4 times to really extend the life of the paper, really cherish the resource that we have.
Yes, from this story, like I personally learned that a lifespan of an object really depends on how we use it. And I also heard from Master De, because I've seen you when you're washing the dishes at the boat, all the masters at the Jingsu boat wear this plastic apron, right? And not a normal apron that we see at home, which is made out of fabric. Can you share to us this apron?
Oh yeah, this is just a plastic bag. Actually, if I just
Where does this
laid it out
bag
flat.
come from?
Oh, from our food factory.
Food factory.
Oh.
We store
store the material that made the multigrain powder that comes in a large bag. So yes, just like Natalia said, every master. And then about we made this ourselves. So I made this myself, and because they're all very similar, very identical, so I have to put my name on it. So it's a sticker of my name, and it's very convenient. See, there's a string as well, and it's just like a real apron, but just plastic. So it's water resistant and very comfy, handy. Yeah, very, yes. So
How long have you used this for?
a couple months already, maybe half year.
You can use this for 100 years, because they say that plastic takes
dispose.
100 years to
I want
Yes.
dispose to the
dispose.
underneath the
Yes.
ground.
Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome.
I'm also very curious, because through the sharings, we are able to see that the lives of all the master at the Jingsu abode are your life is very busy, and there are many works to do. I just wanting to ask, I'm very curious, because like I work at the Jingsu abode, and then I know like after 5:30, I have my own time. It's where the clock ticks off. I wanting to know, do you have any time to yourself or where you can rest?
in a bow, if everyone who listens about the master or our lay practitioner will know that we have no downtime, we have no free time, and the only time that we have is just with everyone, with a group of people. We're doing some discussion, maybe that everyone study together and discuss about the Lively Sutra written by Dharma Master Cheng Yen, or sometimes I have to do my work because probably I was busy in the morning and I don't have much time to finish my work. I will carry it at night. I will carry it over with me and bring it to my dorm and finish it.
Yes, every master here at the Jingsi Abode are very diligent, and it's like I think it's something that we should all learn from, because you learn to cherish every minute and every second you have, not to just enrich, help others and give for others, also enriching yourself. So I wanted to ask Master Deyi, when you first joined at the Jingsi Abode, were there any difficulties that you experienced or any challenges?
Challenges. Not much of a challenges that I have encountered, but probably when I was down sometime, I will think of Master, how Master, despite receiving all the award, but she put all the credit to all the Tzu Chi volunteers. So it makes me learn that we should be humble as the rice stalk. The lower the rice you are, the lower it hangs. And so I always think of Master when I was not, well, probably I would just get through very fast. I don't really encounter any problem. Oh, I remember when I just came back to the boat, one of the lay practitioner shared with me, she has a sleeping problem. And actually a lot of volunteers or some of the master also have the problem. When they came back, they couldn't sleep very well because we're in a co-living space. Everyone sleep together, especially for the first half year. We have to live with a volunteer in a dorm, about 30 or 40 people in one bedroom. So you get a lot of noise, walking, sleeping, snoring, sound.
So was able to you need to focus a lot, because you need to how can I say this, you need to forget about your surrounding and focus on this time, so you're able to concentrate and fall asleep.
I personally don't have any problem of sleeping, and some of them share with me it took them 2 years at least to overcome the difficulties, to get used to life in here. But because I think the life has just been busy, I don't really have time to think about or to take a rest. So when the time clicking and when it's 9:40, I just fall asleep.
I wanted to ask, what is your most memorable work experience here at the Jingsi Abode? I heard from an interview before, it's the working at the field.
Oh, at the field.
Yes.
Okay, yes. What stands out in my memory the most would be pulling out the weeds. This is one of the work that all the masters have to do from now and then. I remember it was that day we were under a blazing sun and we were in the Jingsi garden. Everyone just squat down without chair to sit. Time just goes by, but just like forever. I feel like I was there forever. And only goes by for 30 minutes. And I just feel my legs were so sore. I couldn't feel myself. I think I just couldn't hold myself. I don't know if I can, is there any way that I can possibly continue to do it? So I look around and see all the masters. Just can't believe how mindful all the masters are. They just keep doing what they're doing and without nonstop, without any word. So from that very moment, actually that moment really touched me. See, I think it was that willingness that all the masters are willing to follow master, willing to take Jinsebo as their cultivation ground. So I remember once master said to us, whatever hardship we endure, we have to overcome it. We can't go back to our own, we can't go back to our late family to ask for money. Yes. And if we have will, then we can have 3 meals a day. If we can't, then just 1 meal. No matter what, we have to learn to endure the hardship. We have to endure the hardship that other people can endure. So that these words of master just pop up in my mind. I think this is how these masters were really willing to do. So that's why without any second thought, they just so concentrate on what you're doing. So there's a voice in my heart just telling me that I must master myself. I must master myself. So I tell myself that if master can do it, then I can do it. Without thinking of my own self, thinking about the whole family. This is a big family. This is the path I have chosen. And this is a place I want to spend the rest of my life. So time just go by very fast, an hour and 15 minutes. And then master say, okay, it's about time, we can take a break. So an hour and 15 minutes just passed by. So I think if you affirm on your determination, no matter how difficult, how hard it is, you can overcome it.
I think it's the willingness, like on Master Day said, the willingness of the master at the Jinsebo, like they are there to give. That's why, because I've also experienced, I was also at the fields helping before, and actually the master would give us a small little chair to sit on, but every time master, they don't use it, and they're always like faster than me while picking the vegetables. Every time when I'm there, and I'm always like sighing, why am I so slow? I think it's through practice, and then through practice we are able. The more we practice, the more we're capable of doing this. So you also said, I think all the master here at the Jinsebo inspired you and then gives you determination. Is there any other determinations that actually makes you so determined to stay on this path?
Determination.
So what makes you so determined to be here?
I think it would be the gratefulness. Master said we have to be grateful for everyone, for everyone we have encountered, even the people receiving our help. I think it was that gratefulness. And when you wake up in the morning that you're still alive, you have to be grateful that you still can breathe. And there's a lot of things that are waiting for you to finish, to be grateful for everything that you have.
And I think what inspire myself to be so determined here, it's because of Master, because it's also her determination and also her vow of relieving the poor and also the suffering in this world. Is there, because we're sort of, we only have like 5 minutes. Yes. So is there any like last words or encouragements like Master De you would like to give to all our volunteers overseas, like online right now?
I think being online for almost 40 hours, I mean, I really appreciate that we spend the time together, that everyone are willing to take your time and to share with each other, because we're all in Tzu Chi. And I'm very grateful that whenever I have a chance to speak or to share with our family members, because all of you, every one of you serves a very important role in Tzu Chi, because all the activity have to be united with everyone's help. And through everyone's help, we can finish a lot of different works. And so when Tzu Chi was expanded into more country, and as we are more internationally, the role of every one of you will become even more important and be more vital in the Tzu Chi. So I want to say, be diligent and never retreat on the Bodhisattva path. So together, you, me, and everyone, that we can make this world a better place to live. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Master Dei, for your sharings of the life at the Jingsi abode, and then also the spirits here at the Jingsi abode, and then also giving us encouragement. And I think through your sharing, our volunteers will all be more diligent and will be more determined at this path of Tzu Chi. So thank you so much, Master Dei. Can everyone please stand up? Let us thank Master Dei. Thank you, Master Dei. Bow. Thank you, Master Dei. Thank you. 师父您可以不好意思开 OK 所以我坐我坐着吗 Okay, thank you everyone online. Through today's sharings from our three special guests, I think we were able to learn more. And then thank you so much for joining us online today. To those who are on Zoom right now, please don't go off yet. But today we actually have some family members who are joining us online through YouTube, and then it's actually time for us to say goodbye to our friends and family at YouTube. So let us say goodbye to them, and then we hope to see you soon. Let us wave at the volunteers on YouTube. But for those who are on Zoom, please don't go off yet. Bye. Okay. So before we actually end our online event today, the team will actually arrange everyone into small breakout rooms where you can engage in a short group discussion sharing. I think during earlier on this week, everyone was allocated to different groups on WhatsApp and Line. And then now we have arranged this time